Malky, before we start off on the new season, this is the first time to chat to you since last season.
Yep.
A bit of a relief to win the league.
I think it was adulation. I think we were really happy that we'd achieved our goal. We set out at the start of the campaign to win it. We set at the start of the campaign to win every game. Obviously, the cup competitions were probably the wee bit of disappointment that we had, but winning the league was something that we went out with an intent to do, and we managed to achieve that. So it was a lot of emotions run about, being proud, a sense of achievement, and probably a kind of proof of concept for myself, in that, you know, if we stick to the processes that we done last season, and with the attention to detail we had in every training session, every game that we had, every conversation we had with the players, all the analysis, and everything really just culminated in lifting that trophy. So it was, I was extremely proud to be part of that.
And in terms of the girls that you had playing last year, you've obviously had to say cheerio to a few of them. Your captain, Brianna Westrup,
Yep.
Chantel Swaby, who, after a kind of stuttering start, I thought she was coming onto a game, and then likewise Kirsten Riley. Was there any obviously there's individual circumstances for all of these, but was there any particular dynamic to the changes that you've made in terms of the people who left and the ones that you've brought in?
Well, I think in every year that we're going to be involved, every season is going to be different. You know, we're always going to strengthen, that's for sure. I think what was important that we had decided as a club that we would, the importance was centred around winning the league. The importance was all about the club and about the team, and that we would discuss individuals and their contract situations at the end of the season, which we done after we'd won the league. I had to ensure that it was the right step for each individual, that were they staying at Rangers or were they going to go, you know, and that was you know, both ends. Was it good for the player, or was it good for the club? So it was more a mutual conversation that we'd had with each and every player that either signed and left the club. So I think it was really commendable. Brianna Westrup, Kirsten Riley's, and the ones that you spoke about there, they gave great service over 2 years there, because the league wasn't won in the one season. It was over 2 seasons, in my opinion. And you know, we're all just custodians at Rangers Football Club. We hold that torch for a period of time, do it the best of our ability, and then we pass it on. So no, it was an interesting conversations that we had, and working out that everybody was amicable in the decision making process there.
And just looking forward to the new season, obviously got a couple of new teams in the league. I thought last year particular interest was when with the game at Ibrox against Aberdeen, and their coach was saying, you know, the fact that there were now full-time teams in the league, that she and other teams, other coaches had to make a difference to their training in terms of, you know, their response. And I think that certainly showed towards the end of the season. There weren't so many 4 or 5-0 wins in there for the top clubs. What are you expecting in terms of the opposition this year?
I think it'll be really tight. I really do. I think that there's a lot of clubs have made a lot of signings, and for me that level of competition is going to increase. We're getting into the season a new dynamic again. You know, the girls experienced last season winning the title. They're now going to get into a process where they're going to have to experience a new dynamic, and that they're going to have to try and retain it as a staff as well. That together with the new signings that most of the clubs have made, and if you look at the new signings they've made, there's a lot of good experienced players that they're bringing in. So it's probably going to really add and up the ante to the competition levels.
Hi Malky, any team news ahead of Sunday? How are the girls looking?
Yeah, we've just come back from Spain. We had a great trip, fantastic trip out there with 6 days, adding to our preparation in pre-season. Managed to get the combination of the experienced players and the youth players on the park. So encompassed everything that's about Rangers Football Club. So yeah, we've came back from Spain. We've got one or two players that just with some small niggles that we'll look at tomorrow and tomorrow's match prep, ready for Sunday's game against Glasgow Women. But by and large, yeah, we've got a kind of all guns blazing. We've got Hannah Davidson, who's obviously came in now. Our visa and all that kind of stuff's came through. So she trained this morning with us, and we'll, as we always do, we never ever do we pick a team right up until the final training session. Then we'll sit down as a staff and we'll look at what's the best team to put out in that moment for that game.
You promised me 3 signings. We've got them. How happy are you with the squad, and do you envisage any more, or is that the end of the transfer business?
No, I think that at Rangers the window of opportunity will always be there. It'll always be left open. Will always be the recruitment process will just continue, even more so when we have our team in and ready just now. But we'll always look to make sure that we're aware of what's going on around about us. I'm delighted that the club have shown a massive interest in the women's game and growing the women's game. Certainly at Rangers, and the backing that they've gave the team is second to none, which is shown in our signings and the quality of signings that we've made. But not just the guys that we've signed from AIK and the likes, but our youth players. There's been 3 young players that have came in and got contracts, allied to probably about another 5, 6, 7 other youth players that have been in and been part of pre-season training. So the club's in a really healthy state, and we're just desperate for the future to come.
In terms of captain, very big decision this week. Catherine Hill, obviously, just came in. I'm a bit biased when it comes to her, but what kind of attributes did you see in her to make her captain?
I think it's not just about the captain. The captain's obviously got to wear the band and be the figurehead, but it's the layers in behind that. I'm very fortunate that we have a wealth of experience in that team, and Nick Docherty, obviously that'll be the talking point. That Nick Docherty, Scottish international, she's been here 3 years and played an absolutely key. She was in last year's winning the title, having to play right back, and led everybody. But she's a born leader. She leads no matter whether she's got a band in her arm or not. Tessel Meadag's of a similar ilk as well, and I could go through the team. They've all got different qualities. I felt that we, at this juncture where we've taken in 3 youth players and I think in total, but there's 7, if you want to call it 7 or 8 new players that's come into the group, Catherine Hill being one of them. Catherine brings a freshness, she brings an enthusiasm, and I think she'll embellish and really, really do well in the wearing of the band, knowing full well that she has the backing of the more experienced players in the group. Your Jenna Fife and then Rachel McLaughlin. You got, as I spoke about, Nick Docherty there. These guys have all got her back, and I think it's important with the group dynamic to do things like this as a manager, because it really brings people together. And that was the reason that I went with the Catherine Hill one.
Final one for me, just in terms of Sunday and the league season, and obviously we've had to swap a few players from a league championship side, etc. How happy are you with the squad, and do you feel that you're ready, and are you excited again to kick things off for another season? I'm extremely happy in my position. The staff that I have at my disposal, and that's right from Amy McDonald, behind the scenes, Sarah, Heather that does work kit, Craig McPherson, Kevin, who's Kevin and Craig are absolutely on everything in terms of our training and our planning and our preparation. Michael Gallagher, our analyst, fantastic job. Nick Hardy, our goalkeeping coach. Sarah and Amy, obviously, that look after the kind of operational side of things, and all the way right through. Faye Bennett and our sports science, Jamie Ramsden, there's an absolute wealth of people that are 100% behind this new season and the challenges that it'll bring. So there's an air of confidence, and that's for as we've just spoke about the players there. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're at Rangers for a reason, and the reason is that we want to try and compete to the highest level we can, and ultimately to try and win every game.